With the innumerable amount of Easter eggs within Call of Duty Zombies, there is no doubt that we've missed a few here and there across history. And one such example was one that Jason Blundell gave a little bit of a hint of as to, I believe, at the beginning of Black Ops 3, in which he mentioned that there was one in World at War that nobody ever found that was hidden in plain view. That Easter egg turned out to be during the character bios. Every first letter of every sentence was used to make the statement, "The Doctor wants the ultimate power." Now, lost to history in a sense and only discovered a few years later, this was something that lay dormant for quite some time. But the interesting part with this was that we never knew this existed. There's one such Easter egg that has eluded us to this day that's been in plain sight, but we still have not been able to crack. That being the ADFGX cipher on Mob of the Dead's loading screen. The difference between this and some of the other unfound Easter eggs is this has been hidden in plain sight and uncrackable to this day, and something that this video does not serve as a purpose to give you any explanation for this cipher or giving you an answer, but rather to point some awareness at this if you have never heard of it. And while it may be very stumping to us, it's not the first time the ADFGX cipher has stumped anybody in the past. The Germans, in fact, in World War II, actually thought that this cipher text and code was actually unbreakable. Now, the cipher itself comes from the Mob of the Dead loading screen, and it's very apparent. It's right there in plain view. In the top right-hand corner, you'll see that there is multiple rows of text that reads off FFGXGD, GFFAGF, and so on and so forth. And this is the cipher that is left for us within the loading screen. And it's the one that's also been unbreakable to this day. Now, how an ADFGX cipher works is that you place in a secret mixed alphabet into a 5x5 polybius square with I and J being combined into one so that the alphabet fits in that 5x5 grid. You'll end up coming up with a fractioned message that comes out in a transposition via column. This is then where you have to have a key, that being some sort of keyword, in which that keyword then has to be repositioned alphabetically, in which it rearranges the columns beneath it as well. So it's a lot of different steps, a lot of different pieces to crack. And so when you think about it in terms of the Mob of the Dead cipher, there's a lot of stuff to consider, and a lot of which is not even known. Now, the community has tried to brute force this since it was something that came out, but the problem with that is there are millions and millions of combinations of things that would happen, and so brute forcing this and sifting through all of the data is something that is next to impossible or take way too long to do. So, unless we have some of these keys, which are still being looked for, it's kind of like looking for the needle in the biggest imaginable haystack ever. If you were to take, say, a needle and place it in a haystack the size of the Earth, that's essentially where you're at. Now, as for the keyword that could work with this ADFGX cipher, it has to be something that is 6 letters with 2 repeating letters in that word. A common theory is that the keyword is Victus, due to simply the fact that this is a 6-letter word. 2 I's are in the word Victus, and it's something that was not released until about a month ago with the canon storyline by Jason Blundell and Treyarch, and thus could be the reasoning for why we were in the dark since Mob of the Dead, and it could potentially fit. But assuming this is the 1 in a million word, we also run into another problem. The cipher requires 2 keys, one word that is 6 letters with 2 repeating letters, and an alphabetical order. So this is where the other millions of possibilities come into play and make it exponentially harder to try and pinpoint this. Some people believe the alphabetical order may be the order in which Chronicles maps were debuted by Blundell in the JC Backfire video, such as Nacht, Shangri-La, Kino der Toten, Shino Numa, Ascension, Verrucht, Moon, and Origins, leading to an alphabetical list of NSKMSAVO. But again, that's all speculation out of the potential millions of possibilities. So when you look at things like that, it's pretty interesting to think about, and I guess it serves its purpose as to showing why it might not have been decoded up until this point now 3 years later, and still with a future that looks to be under lock and key. So will this ever be broken? I guess we'll see in time, but perhaps it's something that we revisit, similar to the World at War Easter egg almost a decade later, in which we finally get that answer solved to us, and it will provide some clarity at a later point in time. So that said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. I wanna let you guys know a little bit here about this because once again, this is one of those things that is super fascinating to me. It's been in plain sight and we've never been able to crack it, or at least nothing confirmed to be able to crack it. So with that said, drop your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Do you guys think this stuff is cool? Do you think it will ever be broken? Do you think that it's something that there's already an answer out there and we just have not come across it yet? Whatever it may be, feel free to drop it down there in the comment section down below. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you guys did, make sure you drop a like down below. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with everything we have here regarding Zombies Chronicles, zombies in general, Black Ops 3 multiplayer, Call of Duty World War II multiplayer, and zombies, Modern Warfare Mastered, all that good stuff. We got you covered here up on the channel. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected with me outside of YouTube. I practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. But all that said and out of the way, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. Mine has been Nikolai Espresso. Take care and peace.